They're also very dietary.
Yeah, it helps with your poop.
Really? Tell me more about that. Just dive into that for the rest
Go
of
into
the
full
segment.
detail. Welcome to episode 7 of season 2 of The Voice of Generation Now. My name is Owen Smith. I am so glad to be here on this fine evening. Before we introduce our special guests, that's plural, not singular, I'd love to pan to our lovely audience in the house today. You guys can cheer, clap, do whatever the heck you want to do. Thank you all for being here. All right. Our special guest today is none other than the proud owners of the CS Coffee House, Connor and Sam. What's up, guys?
How's it going?
Great, man. I'm glad you guys could get on here.
Glad to be here.
Yeah.
All right, so first off, before we talk about the CS Coffee House, let's talk about who you guys are outside of the coffee house. Maybe just give us what your majors are, what you're involved in on campus, what year you're in, etc.
All right. Yeah, I'll start. I'm a senior here. Really, I'm a junior. I'm graduating a year early, unfortunately. But, got to get on with life. I'm a business major with a concentration in healthcare management. I'm looking to go into medical device sales after school. I'm an admissions ambassador this year. Belong Groups, I'm a leader for that. It's kind of a discipleship group for freshmen. Entrepreneurship club a little bit here and there. And then I was an athlete here for the past couple of years. I ran track. So
Awesome.
That's a little bit of my activities.
Yeah. Pretty similar, actually. I'm a senior as well, studying marketing, business administration. I'm originally from Seattle, so.
Oh, wow.
Coffee's been kind of my whole life.
Yeah.
But then I'm in admissions. I'm the director, along with my co-leader, Savannah. We oversee the entire Belong curriculum and the Belong program. So we've been doing that for the past 3 years, and yeah, it's been going well.
That's sweet,
so,
man.
Yeah, it's been good. And then just kind of anything else, really. Anything that I can think of, try and get involved in. So.
Awesome. That's great. All right, so let's start talking about the CS Coffee House. Talk about like how the idea came about, when it came about, and all that stuff.
Yeah, I'll let you go. Just explain your experience with coffee, and then I'll go.
Yeah. So I've been within kind of the coffee area for a while. For the past 5 years, 5 or 6 years or so, I ran an online coffee business, and that started in high school. Did different markets, summer markets, holiday markets, all that kind of stuff. Sold online, and then did that kind of through the start of freshman, sophomore, junior year, and it was just kind of like, okay, like it's this side hustle that I have, but not really something that I focused a lot on. And it was just me doing it. And so it was just like, at some point I was like, okay, I'm just kind of tired of doing this on my own. And like it could grow to be something, but I just didn't put time and effort into it just because, I was also here, so I couldn't do a ton with it. But about this summer, it was like really late night texting back and forth. And we both love coffee. That's just kind of something that we found that we have in common. And all of last year we had talked about like he started to get into espresso and got an espresso machine, got like all these different types of coffees. We would go up to Chicago and we'd get like bags of coffees and try out different types and roasts and stuff like that. And then this summer we were just texting back and forth and we were like, why not just like sell it out of our apartment or like.
Well, first we were talking about like expanding his company, like just collabing, doing something together.
Right, yeah.
Like rebranding, just to, give his company some more life and ideas for me. And then, like he said, I just love trying different flavors, different lattes, different drinks like that with an espresso machine. And so, that kind of grew. And then we didn't really do anything until we got, like, when we get to school, like in person, we can start, like, let's get after it. So then I was just like, man, like, because people would like always ask us to make coffee at the beginning of the year, and Sam's like, why don't we just start selling coffee? And so I was like seeing all these TikToks of like home cafes, where like people would come in like Saturday mornings and like they're like have just like breakfast items and just make coffee and all hang out. And so he said that, and I was like, dude, like why don't we just do like Saturday mornings, like call it Coffee House or something like that? Because we were originally going to go with Sandalwood Coffee Co. If it was going to be online, but then I think it was kind of both of us were like CS Coffee House, like Connor and Sam Coffee House. And so we started the first week, and our friends loved it, and then it kind of took off, and so ever since then we've just been growing and learning as a business, and as people and business partners, and so.
where are you guys located?
We are in Stratford, the Stratford 1035.
Awesome.
So, yep, college apartment.
What what's your hours? Like, how many times a week are you open?
It's not very much. We're still college students, so we have to.
Yeah,
put that
you got to
goes first.
balance your schedule out.
Exactly.
No, for sure. But you still get like a lot of people to
Yeah.
pull up. I see stuff on Instagram, like
Yep,
the
yep.
reels you guys got. You got a lot of people there.
Yeah.
Describe like the atmosphere of having a bunch of people in there up your little old
Yeah.
school coffee house kind of thing.
So, unfortunately, we only do about 2 hours just because, it is a lot. It's like pretty much running a whole cafe, coffee shop
Yeah.
out of our apartment. And it's like we can only get rest over the weekends, and so it's like we don't want to do too much, but we still want to provide that.
You don't want to
community.
get burnt out.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
especially for our roommates.
Right.
We do have roommates. We gotta think about them.
You got to keep them in mind.
Yeah,
Our poor
yeah.
roommates.
So we usually do about 2 hours, like I said. So Sunday afternoon, just after church, after lunch, people are like wanting to hang out, wanting to get together, and so we tell them to come through the sliding glass door. We call it coffee house just because there's a like the house atmosphere.
Yeah.
So it's just like college apartment. So you'll walk in. We have 2 menus. Most of the time we'll have like seasonal drinks. So right now we'll have Valentine's Day drinks, and then our regular, just like all the flavors listed out and prices and stuff. So you'll walk in. Most of the time we're busy, and so we'll see you after. Like the rush comes in, and we're like, "Oh, hey, I didn't know you walked in." 'Cause
You have
we're
no
just, like,
idea they're in your apartment.
Exactly,
Yeah.
going crazy. You'll look at the menu and kind of just ask people around like for suggestions. They'll yell at us, "Hey, what do you want? Or what do you think like is best?" And I'll be like yelling back at them. And then so our POS is kind of just like. Venmo, and so they'll scan the QR code and kind of just type in their order
Oh, that's
as
easy.
the description. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I'll have my iPad or my phone up on top of our espresso machines, and they'll just like scroll through and they'll like the ones that we just did, and we're like, okay, which one are you working on? Which one are you working on? So then it's just like just the creation of it and giving it to them. Their face lights up, and they're just like, oh, this looks so good, and it's just like the walking away with like the smile of like, we please our customers.
Yeah.
And so.
I think that at the very beginning of the year, we had coffee house in the mornings, and we would have people outside just because it was so, like during the fall, so
Right.
September, kind of October, like we would just have people sit outside, and like we put the table outside. We had,
Lawn chairs and
people
stuff
would
like
come with their lawn chairs. We'd have small little tables. Like that was, I don't know. I think after the first time we just sat and we were just like, what, like kind of like what happened? Because
Yeah.
there was such a big rush of people, and we'll get giant clumps of people that'll come at once, and then we just kind of like sit back and we're like, holy crap.
Why?
Yeah.
And but no, like the atmosphere of those mornings was like so unique and just so much fun, and that's when we were just like, okay, we just have to keep doing it.
Yeah.
And there's people are coming each week, and we're having repeat customers. To the point where it's like, well, then people are expecting it,
Yeah.
so now we have to continue it.
It's like our biggest thing is just providing community.
Yeah.
And we only charge $3.50 for a latte when Starbucks is $6 or $7.
Yeah.
And so it's like our main customer is college students, and unfortunately you can't use your Tiger dollars. So.
Oh, yeah.
it's like
That's
we
the
gotta-
only downside.
yeah.
They got to get on that,
So,
man.
I
They got to
know,
get on the
I
ability to
know.
use Tiger dollars.
So-
So obviously you guys have to love coffee if you have your own coffee house. So talk about your go-to styles of coffee.
All right. I love the lattes. Recently I've been getting into making a cortado
Interesting.
late at night, and so caffeine kind of like soothes me and helps me lock in.
Yeah.
And so it'd be like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. I'm like, oh, I'm craving a cortado, which is equal parts espresso, equal parts steamed milk. And so it's more strong, but it's like kind of like a wake up. I like it, and so like I said, I love trying different flavors.
Yeah.
And so espresso is 18 grams of grounds, and then you'll put it in the espresso machine, and then you'll pull a shot that is 36 ounces, is a double shot. So it's double what the shot is double the grounds. And so it's just the satisfaction of like watching the shot being pulled. It's just like it's awesome. And so like dialing in your machine, like scaling it is kind of like pulling the 36-ounce shot, and we want to do 36 seconds. And so just perfecting that is just great. But then like good espresso mixed with like a good flavor just to make a good latte is like wonderful. And so it's just like that first sip after you make it, you're like, oh, this is great. And then you just sit back and relax and enjoy your drink.
I think right now I've been doing a lot of lattes, but I do not mind just taking a shot of espresso. Like that is for a while, especially last year, before studying for an exam, it's very similar. Like I would take a shot of espresso to be able to focus. And so I would just go to Starbucks and get a shot of, it's not good espresso, but I would just go get a shot of espresso, take that, and then I'd be able to focus. And so doing that a little bit, but then also like I didn't have the resources to make all the different drinks and stuff like that. But right now, I'd really like a white, or what is it? I think it's a white chocolate blackberry
Oh wow.
latte with blackberry cold foam, which is, I don't know. I've been able to get it to a spot where I can, like, I don't like super, super sweet things. And so there's a good balance between the two. Or vanilla, white chocolate or vanilla. Those two are really good. But I've been able to get it to a good balance where I don't have to, like, where I'm not like, oh, this is too sweet, and I toss it. But I really like the coffee taste of it.
Yeah.
Specifically, going for my drinks, I love white chocolate with strawberry, cherry, blackberry, like he was saying. For some reason, white mocha just like mixes so well with like the fruity flavors.
Yeah.
And so we have, it's called the hottie on our Valentine menu, is white mocha with strawberry cold foam.
Okay.
And so that's like, or a chocolate covered strawberry. Those are like the two popular. Those are really good. But also honey vanilla latte is wonderful.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I've also found my favorite. I was trying some different experiments with cold foam because you can put anything into cold foam and it tastes nice. But vanilla and cinnamon. I don't know what the combo is about it,
good.
or I don't know what it is about it. But just that combo together is so good. With, I mean, more of like rustic flavors. So caramel, dark chocolate. You can do it with vanilla, but like those are all good.
Yeah, recently, this Sunday, this coffee house we had this weekend, a lot of people will come and be like, all right, surprise me. Like, too many flavors I can't choose, you know?
Yeah.
And so I made a vanilla latte with cookie butter cold foam.
Oh wow.
And so, yeah, she said it was wonderful, and so that's my next to try on the list. So,
There you go.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, now we're going to turn it to our beautiful audience in the house to ask our two guests some questions. So if you have any question, it doesn't have to be coffee related. It can be anything related. You can come up to this microphone right here and ask away.
Oh.
Word on the street is that coffee stunts your growth, so I want to ask your opinions on that.
I did a study on caffeine, not specifically. I focus more on the coffee caffeine instead of like energy drinks caffeine, but there's a lot of, not specifically growth. It doesn't stunt any growth, but it actually is really helpful for your mind, memory retention. It's also healthy for, there's a lot of properties within coffee beans that are really healthy for you. So,
Wow.
I mean, it's a plant, it's a bean, so I would hope it's
They're
good.
also very dietary.
Yeah,
Are
it
they?
helps with your poop.
Really? Tell me more about that. Just dive into that for the rest
Go
of
into
the
full
segment.
detail.
Might be a little too graphic.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly how to explain it, but it helps.
All right. Thank you, Tad.
Woo.
If anyone else has a question, we got plenty of time.
Alrighty. I know you had said you ran track. What was kind of like, what was your career? Are you a sprinter or a distance
Yeah,
thrower?
I ran the
jumper?
200 and 400. So
Okay.
God was very good to me. I had a lot of success. Shout out to Coach Z. He made me a dog, along with the gifts that God gave me. So yeah, I was a 200 and 400 sprinter, along with the 4x4. Sometimes a 4x1, but my acceleration isn't that good. So it's the longer distance. So yeah.
Bro, I can't run. Like, long distance, bro, like, I'm gassed.
That's why I'm
like,
short distance.
Yeah,
That's
there
why I'm
you
a
go.
sprinter.
I feel like
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
okay with, like, if I had to sprint, like, I feel like I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm not super fast, but I'm fine. But long distance, I'm tapping out, bro.
Yeah.
I'm done. No,
Yep,
thank
yep,
you.
That ain't for the weary, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So.
Anyone else?
Hey guys, if money didn't matter, what would be your dream job?
Ooh, good question.
Yeah, so recently, it's cool because God's been speaking to me. So like I said, I want to go into medical device sales. So I think there's two avenues that I would take. If money wasn't a thing, I think I would pursue coffee. Just, trying to be able to put a ministry out, make a ministry out of it, And so it's like if money didn't matter, then a profit wouldn't matter. And so then it's like I could either give it away for free to the homeless or, do special events just to kind of somewhat create a ministry in a community of people. My second option would be I'm a big outdoorsman, and so I love hunting and fishing. And so just being able to travel across the U.S. and just globally, just filming my hunts, going with buddies. There's a lot of hunting podcasts, and so it's just like giving your experiences of that. And it's just like thrilling. What it is just thrilling. You're seeking after this animal, and then you harvest it. And you can celebrate and make that memories with your buddy and your friends and your family. It's like I grew up with my dad doing it, and my grandpa and my cousins. And so it's just like, I feel like it just bonds people together. But if I could just travel the world, film content and just have good fun with my buddies, I think that'd be awesome to me.
With that coffee business you were talking about, would you want like a permanent place to work out of, or would you more want to be like mobile?
Yeah, so kind of what Sam and I have been talking about, like how do we want to do this in the future? I think it'd be super fun to have like a coffee trailer or a coffee cart and, pop up at like markets. But then again, I think it'd be so fun to have a brick and mortar coffee shop and just, be able to design that and say, I created this. And then just take priority in that and say, how can I separate myself from the regular coffee shop? And then just, put my kind of my own physical essence into it. So, yeah.
My side of it is very more on the entrepreneurial side of it. I don't know if there's necessarily a specific job. I can't think of anything like corporate wise where I'm just like, oh, if money wasn't an option, then I'd go work corporate. I don't think I would. A lot of it has to do with like spending time with people, and so working coffee shop, like that's just kind of the way that there's something that I'm drawn to is like people oriented, something around people. And so, which coffee is so, that's basically what coffee is. It's just surrounding people and conversations and being able to sit with people and have a cup of coffee. Like how special is that? And so, I'm trying to figure out what we want to do afterwards with this whole thing has kind of been the big question for the last, I don't even know how many, actually, since it probably started, but then also just other entrepreneurial things. I want to own a Christmas tree farm at some point. Like, why not? That would be fun.
That's awesome.
Or I'm trying to think of what else. I have a few ideas, but just more on the want to be able to be my own boss. Want to work for myself, not necessarily have to. I like operations. I like the idea of trying to run something and figure the ins and outs of running it and so I something around that, yeah.
It's cool. All right, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Why the Christmas tree farm? That's awesome.
Well, Washington has a lot of trees. Washington has a lot of space.
That makes sense, yeah.
I don't know. There's something about a Christmas tree
I love
farm.
Christmas trees, man. I love Christmas,
Yeah,
so like,
absolutely.
yeah.
Me too.
it's awesome.
Yep.
I think we got time for one more question. If someone wants to go again, they can.
Connor, I know in the past you had like a clothing apparel business.
Yeah.
What other ventures have you two had? I know, Sam, your coffee business before this one. But what other niches or things have you guys been interested in?
Through high school, I was big into like streetwear and like hype sneakers and like hypey stuff. And so I used to resell sneakers. There was some, profitable sales, and there was some, I was still learning. I was a freshman, sophomore in high school. And so I actually made some YouTube videos. I think I made my first YouTube video when I was in 4th grade. I've always been like in love with just like creating.
No, that's so real.
Yeah,
that's so real.
When I was in 4th grade, like Q&As were like huge. And so my buddy and I would do like question and answers with each other and like all these different like challenges. I would interview my dad on random things.
That's so funny.
So I think it's just like the creator started like with that. But then I think I made $500 off of a pair of off-white Jordan 4 in the sale colorway. I bought them for $212 retail, and then a week later, I knew they were going to be profited just because it's an off-white and Jordan collab, and they're always just crazy expensive. And so a week later I sold it for like $950, and like obviously fees were crazy because I resold them on StockX.
Yeah.
And so it was the quickest $500 I've ever made.
Well, goodness.
But yeah, I think it was just like the, collecting the shoes. At one point I had like probably like 50 or 60 pairs of shoes. So it was like running an Instagram page, running like selling on Goat and kind of all that stuff. That was a big thing for me in high school. And then my freshman year here at Olivet when we had the first the creator conference. I decided to start selling like Western clothing, like Western graphic T-shirts. And so I did that, and then it was kind of hard to market here at school, and so I switched it to, it was called Lux Outdoors, and it was just more hunting and fishing, and so I could feel like I could market that more. But then it was just like school got in the way of things, and it was just really tough to manage that, and not create shirts at home and ship and all that other stuff with kind of minimum space, and so kind of gave up on that and fell in love with coffee, and here it's been ever since.
Heck yeah.
I say it ended up okay.
Yeah. Yep, God is good.
All right, man. Thank you for coming on. I really appreciate your time. It was an absolute blast to have you on and learn more about the coffee house, learn more about you guys in general. Thank you to our audience for asking the great questions. A round of applause to you.
Everybody go follow us on Instagram.
Ooh, yes.
CS Coffee House.
CS Coffee House. Go follow.
Do it.
Alrighty.
All right, well, that concludes episode 7 of season 2 of The Voice Generation. Now we have one more episode of season 2. You don't want to miss it. Thanks for tuning in.